Welcome to class today. We are going to be focused on our hips. So not just opening the hips, that's a big thing you hear all over the place, open, 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 but also to strengthen. Because while it's good to be flexible, if you're too flexible or you go too far, it can actually be detrimental, right? So we want to be strong as well, and then we stay happy and healthy. So listen to your body as always, and just enjoy your practice, see where it goes. Namaste. So we're going to start in Virasana here today. And if sitting on your heels is super uncomfortable, or if there's any pain, obviously we don't want to go there. But if you can, maybe find a block or a fat book or maybe a wooden box or something of the sort to sit on. You can roll a blanket as long as it will fit, right? And then just make yourself as comfortable as you can be here. Noticing that the pelvis is upright pretty much on its own. Begin to engage the core. So lift your pelvic floor, pull your lower belly in and up, and engage along the sides of the body so we sit tall. Hands are, of course, where is most comfortable. Coming to your breath. Begin to expand into each breath until you find that nice, full yoga breath. Staying connected to the breath, let's extend the arms. And on an inhale, stretch them up. Exhale, bring them back down. We'll do it again. And once more. So let's inhale, coming back up to the top. With the exhale, bring your left hand forward and your right hand toward the back of your mat. And then inhale, come back up to the middle and switch sides, taking your right hand forward and your left hand back. We're going to move side to side like that, connected to the breath. And those first couple of twists might come mostly from the shoulders because that's where your hands are going. But as you warm into it a little bit, see if you can rotate your belly a little and maybe your side ribs as well as your shoulders. Moving a little bit deeper into these twists, still connected to that nice, easy breath. Let's go once more like that on each side. And then release, coming back to center again. From here, gently make your way out onto all fours. So hands and knees, you can set your prop aside, ground into the four corners of your hands here. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then moving through some cat-cows. On an inhale, draw the belly toward the floor. And with the exhale, round the spine toward the ceiling. Following your breath, flowing in and out of those two poses. We'll take one more flow here. And then find your neutral spine. We're going to shift our way into a kneeling plank, taking a moment, finding even on the four corners of the hands, the spine neutral, shoulders neutral on the back. And you can absolutely stay on knees if that's better, or come into full plank from here. Holding for just a couple of breaths. Make sure the belly's pulled in to support your back. And then we'll make our way into down dog. And of course, as always, allow yourself to just move and stretch and wiggle here. And settling in, allow the heels to sink toward the floor. And then instead of sinking into the heels, come up on the toes. Keep the hands even on the floor and drop the heels over to the left. Feeling a nice stretch up the right side of the body. And then coming back to center and switching over to the right. Keep the left hand grounded firmly. And then return to center. From here, let's walk the feet forward and make your way into standing fold. Allow the knees to bend maybe a little here, walk in place a little bit, making sure your feet are up underneath your hip bones, gradually working a little deeper into our hamstrings here. Let's come to a center, and you can have your knees a little bent if you like here. Taking the fingers, let's interlace behind the lower back, palms face each other. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back and stretch your hands away from your shoulders, maybe up off of the lower back and maybe not that much. Just stay focused on what the shoulders are doing and the hands go where they go. Big breaths here. And then release it. From here, we'll slide the hands to the thighs and press away from the thighs, coming parallel to the floor. Shoulders back, belly in, leaning on the legs if you need. Hinge all the way up to standing. And then take the hands to the lower back for some support back there. Tucking the tailbone under just a little, hug your elbows and shoulder blades together on your back and lift the sternum up toward the ceiling. Lots of space in the spine, and you can move into this little back bend, going deeper if you want to go deeper. Listening to your body. And then gently hinging back up to neutral again. Take the hands back to the thighs and take yourself back over into that half fold again. Take a second, lean on the legs as much as you need to lean here. And slowly release all the way back into your fold. Let's take a nice big step back with the right foot, coming into a lunge, and then take the hands and walk them around into the center of a straddle fold, turning the feet so that they're parallel to each other, toes point forward, palms on the mat, ideally, shoulder width apart, maybe fingertips in line with the tips of the toes. Bending the knees if you need, take your index and middle fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Taking the legs straight if you can, bend your elbows out to the sides and gently pull against the toes to draw yourself into a little bit deeper stretch here. Releasing the toes, we'll again take the fingers behind the lower back. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other and stretch the hands away from the shoulders. Nice full breaths here. And then release that, taking the hands back to the mat again. So here we'll turn our toes out more toward the corners of the mat. And then connect it to the breath. On an exhale, bend into your right knee. And inhale, come back to the center. Exhale as you bend into your left. So you're going to flow side to side like that, connected to the breath, making sure the knee points in the same direction as the toes and does not go in front of the toes. Protect your knees. See if you can move a little deeper with each breath. And remember, you can open your feet or change your position at any point. When you're back to center, we'll walk the hands right back around toward that left foot, lunging back to the top of the mat and stepping into fold again. Hands up to the thighs, pressing away, come parallel to the floor again. Holding here, make sure your belly's pulled in to support your lower back, and if you need your hands on your thighs, leave them there. Otherwise, take the arms down the sides of the body, hugging into the hips and waist here. If you'd like to go a little deeper, the arms out to the sides, hands right off the shoulders. Adds a little bit more body weight. Make sure your body can handle that. Take a step back if you need. And finally, if you want more, the arms can stretch forward. A nice long line from the fingertips through the hips. Legs are straight, hips over ankles. Bend into the knees and make your way into chair. So you may be supported, the arms out or up. With an inhale, stretch to the ceiling, and exhale, release the arms. From here, let's take a nice big step back with the right foot, making our way in toward triangle. So the left toes are pointing toward the top of the mat, the right toes are cut in a bit. The body's open to the long edge of your mat. Stretch the arms out, reach over your left toes, and then let that left hand fall, right arm lifting up toward the ceiling. Shoulders and hips in the same plane. Making sure the belly's pulled in, feeling the side body do the work here. And then bending into the left knee, rest your forearm on the thigh and take the right arm up and over the ear, stretching long through those fingertips. Lean on the leg if you need to lean, but try to use your belly and your obliques to hold you here. Taking the right hand to the hip, bring the left hand forward of the foot, and you can absolutely use a block here. Trying to keep the right shoulder back, the right hip back, hop the right toes in, and then maybe lift them away from the floor, no higher than the hip. Finding the balance, think stacking the right hip on top of the left, right shoulder on top of the left. From here, let's bend back into the knee. Pass through that angle pose again. Take the left leg straight, moving into our triangle. And then hinging all the way up and stepping back to the top of the mat. Taking it to the second side, same thing here. So big step back with the left foot. Working into our triangle here, stretch forward over the right toes and let the right hand fall and the left hand lift. Staying engaged through the belly to protect the back. Bending into the knee, shifting into our angle. Lean on the leg if you need to lean, but try and use your belly more than the leaning on the leg to hold you here. Bringing it to half moon then. Bring the left hand to the hip, bend the right knee more, stretching the hand in front of the toes. Block it if you need to block. When you're ready, lifting that left foot away from the floor. Again, looking to be hip height, maybe stacking the left hip on top of the right and the left shoulder on top of the right. Nice big breaths here. And bend into the knee. Making your way back to triangle. And hinging back up. Stepping back to the top of the mat. So from here, we're going to take ourselves over into a half fold. And maybe the fingertips touch the floor, maybe you're using a block. Ideally, the upper body is parallel-ish to the floor, but do the best you can here. Make sure the belly's pulled in to support the back. We're going to shift all the weight over into the left foot and begin to lift the right leg back. So heel in line with the hip, we want to keep the hips square for right this second. And that right foot is flexed with the toes pointing straight down at the floor. From there, we're going to open the hip. Turn the toes out to the right. Think stacking the right hip on top of the left. And then close it back up again. So start to rotate the toes toward the floor. Drop the right hip parallel to the left. Let's do it again. Open, stacking, and closed. Work it one more time like that. Open. And then closed. Releasing the toes to the floor and getting ready for the second side. All the weight to the right. Lifting that left leg straight back. The toes are flexed, pointing down toward the floor here. And then let's open it. Pointing the toes over to the left, stacking the left hip on top of the right. Close it up again, bringing the hips square. Open. And close. One more time like that. Close them up again. And release the left foot to the floor. From here, we'll let ourselves just hang over for a moment. And then let's step back into a down dog. Drop on down to the knees and sit back into a child's pose. Let's sit up on the heels. And then bring yourself around onto your seat. If you have a block or something with you, definitely have it within reach. And then we're going to work into boat here. So taking the hands behind the thighs and balancing, toes maybe up off the floor just a smidge, bringing the soles of the feet together and then rolling down to your back. Allow the feet to come to the floor, keeping the soles together, and just rest your knees out to the side so that that inner hip can really release. We'll bring the knees back together. And then bringing the heels fairly close to the glutes here, arms down the sides of the body. We want to press into the triceps, pull the heels toward the hips, and gently lift the hips away from the floor. Don't worry necessarily about high today. Just get a nice little stretch in the quads and the hip flexors here. And then taking the block, if you have one, set it behind the pelvis. So the flat part right before your butt, right? So not too high up on the spine, not too low. Find that nice center area, and then you can just rest your pelvis on the block. If you're holding, just simply hold. You can always use a blanket or a towel as well. You can take your legs straight if that feels good, keeping the tailbone tucked under to keep the lower back protected. We'll gently take the feet flat to the floor again. Pick the hips up off of your block and just set down, resting with the feet flat. And then drawing the knees in toward the chest, allow yourself to just rock a bit here. Coming center and drawing the knees in toward the chest, take your shins vertical so it looks like your feet are stepping up on the ceiling, and reach up and grab for the soles of your feet, insides, outsides, wherever is most comfortable for you here. We want to pull down on the feet evenly and draw the knees either closer to your chest or open your knees and draw them down the sides of your body and toward your armpits. Allow yourself to wiggle and stretch a little bit here. This is an awkward, strange place, so the more you wiggle, maybe the less intense it can be. And then come center and draw down on both feet evenly, pulling in as much as you can. And then keep the arms pulling in, and now use your feet to kick back into your hands. Feel a little push and pull here. Releasing that, take the feet flat to the floor again. Let's open the arms into a T position. Picking up the hips, take them to the left edge of the mat and let your knees fall over to the right, relaxing the legs to the sides. If you prefer a seated twist, you're welcome to go there. And just allow your legs to relax to the side. Releasing the shoulders, maybe looking over the left hand if that feels good. We'll bring the legs back to center. Shift the hips all the way over to the right and let the legs fall to the left. Same thing on this side, just releasing, relaxing back into your twist. Let's come back to center. And one more time here, draw the knees into the chest and rock. This time, pulling the knees in as tight to the chest as you can. Draw your forehead towards your knees and give yourself a nice big squeeze here. Release that and take it out into a full body stretch, fingertips to toes, using every muscle. One last little moment here. And then releasing that, bring the arms back down by your sides and take a moment to move into whatever position your body needs to be in. So maybe the legs are extended, but maybe the feet are flat to the floor, or you can always take a seated meditation as well. Getting the body comfortable, allow the muscles to rest here, and return the attention solely to your breath. Staying focused on the breath, letting your mind relax. And remember, you can stay in this Shavasana for as long as you like. Namaste.